Welcome, everybody, to the YTWPodcast. You've heard the rest. Now hear more. How's everybody?
Doing good.
Yeah, I'm great, man. Thanks for having us.
Good, man.
So yeah, this is the inaugural... words. I say them. This is the inaugural podcast. Inaugurable podcast.
I don't think there's a B.
Inaugural. You're right. That's why I'm saying it wrong, because it's the wrong word. This is the inaugural
We have invented a word.
No, I'm just stupid.
Just really cool.
You can say
this is the very good.
This is the first.
I would just act like that's what the word's supposed to sound like and make everyone else look dumb.
Yeah, just sound really confident when you say it.
Yeah, but it's not like a random science word or something no one knows. It's inaugural. All right.
Off to a great start.
We're rollicking good start. So this is the inaugural podcast. My name's Jonathan. You might know me better as Great Canadian Guy. I'm a YouTuber and streamer. With me are my co-hosts Jess Yodabauer of Port Haven.
Yeah, Port Haven is the website.
My other co-host is Nikita, or Sergeant Curry Pants. Mm-hmm. She's also a YouTuber of some rapport. Mm-hmm. And our guest this week is Litanah of Litanah Army, an exploding YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for that, man. Hey, guys.
So let's start with our guest this week. Litanah, how was your week? What have you been up to?
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, really good. In fact, I've been changing up my channel quite a lot, so really trying to ramp things up a little bit. I've just made my thumbnails a little bit simpler, and just trying to play as many games as I can, just keeping it varied. But that's been really fun because I've played games that I wouldn't normally play, which I've really enjoyed. So the more of that, the better.
So what have you been playing lately? Anything for fun? Anything good?
I don't play games for fun anymore. I've stopped doing that ages ago. I just play because it's what they do for fun. No, I've been playing a Hat in Time, which is really good. That's like a platform puzzler that's kind of Mario-esque that I've really enjoyed. Bermuda, which is a survival game. And I've got one called Battle Chasers as well, which is a bit Final Fantasy type game that I've really enjoyed as well. So yeah, it's quite a mixed bag.
Yeah, man, I watched that earlier, actually, the Final Fantasy-esque one. I really like the aesthetic on that one.
Yeah, I think it's one of them games that's not going to get very much press because it's from like a small dev team and it's because of the art style. There's no like recognizable characters in it, but the story's really in depth. You know, it's well worth a look.
Oh, fantastic. So Jess, how's your week?
My week was fine. I got my car back. I hit a deer 2 weeks ago, so that week was not as fun.
Oh.
But I got my car back this week, so that was good. I've been in the middle of a long project. There's a Star Wars book, because my site is entirely Star Wars based. I got a Star Wars book called A Certain Point of View. It has 40 short stories in it, and so I've been doing 1-minute reviews once a day. And that keeps me a lot busier than you would think it would. Because I have to read before I can even record anything for it. But I've been doing that, and I do play Star Wars games. I'm playing through Jedi Knight, Jedi Outcast right now. I'm getting near the end of the game, so.
Good choice.
Yeah, it's been fun, but frustrating in a lot of other ways. I have a reoccurring segment in the Let's Play where after I've walked around for 20 minutes, I consult Jedi Master Qui-Gon Google. And I have like a whole sequence of events, and then this picture of Qui-Gon with like a Google logo drawn on his shirt shows up. I'm like, I give up. What do I do now?
I think everybody did that on that game at some point.
Yeah. There are certain points where it's like, you have to blow up a wall, and you blow up a wall by shooting a pipe that you can barely see because it's the same color as the wall, and I just needed to guess that I needed to do that.
Oh yeah, that's the good stuff.
It's like the next 5...
That's LucasArts right there.
The next 5 minutes of the Let's Play is just me yelling and screaming, like, this is the stupidest thing.
All right. So how about you, Nikita? What have you been up to?
Well, the other day I survived a so-called flood in my neighborhood. It was really just a bunch of rain that people exaggerated. And the next day it was super sunny. So people say that, the storm was kind of like being married because it's like a shitstorm the first day and then The next day, it's like nothing happened. And you just look stupid.
That's the best analogy I'm going to hear all day, I
Yeah.
think. I like
So
it.
I got a taste of marriage. So now I know what Litanah's talking about.
Wow.
And
That's quite
then
accurate.
Litanah convinced me to play some Fortnite, so I'm playing a bit of that, and it's really fun.
Yeah.
Oh, you're getting into old Betsy can run Fortnite.
No, not her. She cannot.
No, she
even
can't.
try.
Okay.
She cannot. It is the PlayStation.
Oh,
I
fair enough.
tried Betsy. She did not even start up. I think she died. She died in her sleep.
Aww.
Well, how old is that
Just
laptop
for
anyway?
people listening
It's
before they get
7
concerned,
years.
Betsy's a laptop.
I guessed. I hoped we were talking
This
about
is probably
Better
for the
clear that up.
best.
Yeah, we wouldn't laugh about a person dying in their sleep, right?
We wouldn't do that with microphones rolling.
Yeah, no, definitely
Yeah.
not public.
Yeah,
No.
we do that in private.
Like most respectable people.
Yeah, like most respectable people, would make fun of the dead in private.
Yeah,
Yes, of
Yeah.
course.
it's the right thing to do.
So no real property damage or anything from the storms. Everybody's okay.
Nothing, just exaggerations on the internet.
No.
I marked myself safe on Facebook to add to the drama, though.
Good job. All right. So as for myself, I've been I don't know. I had like a bad tooth problem that I'm just sort of getting over.
Mhm.
It kept me awake several nights, and I just felt like shit for last week. But
Toothache's the
managed to keep up
worst.
with the channel, got through Sleeping Dogs, and I'm on to, thanks to my fucking Patreon supporters voting, Alpha Protocol,
Nice.
which is
Nice.
Metal Gear Stupid. The Adventures of Flaccid Worm.
All right.
Like, it's basically a Metal Gear style game, but with RPG elements and written by committee.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not especially good. I'm only one stream in, but it's not the greatest game. It has a lot going on in it that should be good, though.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I think Litanah mentioned that he liked this one.
Yeah, I think. Do you know what it is? I like games where they're broken. They're the ones I like to watch on YouTube. That's what I would go and watch. So if you've got a really polished game, you know, that's all nicely, a really rich story and polished, I probably won't. I want to play that, but I won't watch it.
Mm-hmm.
I like to watch, like when you were saying about the pipe, trying to find the pipe against the wall, and it's the same color.
Right.
That's what I want to see. Somebody struggling.
I feel like when I watch other people stream, I either want to laugh or I want to learn how to play the game better.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to watch somebody win.
Right.
When they make it look easy, it's annoying. I like seeing them struggle and cry. That's what I
I
like.
think I've just figured out why you guys watch my stuff.
That's why we're such big fans.
Yeah.
Well, one of my favorite games to watch streamed is XCOM 2, just because you
yeah.
never win.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's an unwinnable shitstorm.
I think that's it. Nobody types into Google, though, do they? Funny wins. It's always funny
no.
fails. You know, that's what we want to
Yeah,
see.
no.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, I've been getting into Warframe, which is this free-to-play game from 2013 that's seeing a bit of resurgence because it's constantly being updated. And it's got some fun, like, action-y gameplay. The story's pretty trite, but who cares?
It's been how long's that been going for? Do you know? It's been out a while, hasn't it?
For 2013.
Wow. See, that's doing really well to still hold up and still look as good as what it does.
Right. And I think part of it is, well, I mean, obviously they used Unreal Engine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I think the reason it's still relevant is they just keep pumping out like content and not putting it behind a paywall.
Okay.
Yeah.
Unlike some people.
Well,
We're gonna get to that later.
there was
Don't jump ahead.
another update on Warframe today, I think.
Is it today or tomorrow?
I'm sure it's today.
All right. Well, I haven't signed in since then, so I'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
But I think that's later game content, and I'm still super early.
Well, see, there's a question I have for you. So, let's say I hear about this game that's been around since 2013 and it's fun, but I've never played. How accessible do you think it is? Like, do you feel as a new player you can enjoy it with people who've been playing it for years and years?
This one's technically like multiplayer, but I play almost exclusively solo.
Okay.
So like you could just set yourself like matchmaking options, public, friends, invite, or solo.
Okay.
And if you play solo, you could even like pause the game as though it were a single player game and everything. It's fine. There's some missions that are like borderline impossible, and they're like, no, seriously, play with other people now.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't really have to pay money to be okay at the game for the area you're in. The main barrier I keep running into is like, I'm not on the planet where you can get this resource yet. You've just got to beat some more levels to get there.
Okay.
Play the damn game. You could just go buy it, but it's not like you have to do that to make the cool stuff.
Okay.
You just have to actually play. Counter that to another game I've been playing a bit of, Crossout, which feels like they've done everything in their power to make you want to spend money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's kind of the thing these days. That's kind of how it's... The paywalls are becoming normalized in games, which is worrying me. Even the little games now, even the indie developers have started to put little mini paywalls in just to squeeze that little bit extra out of you.
Right.
That's true.
But let's hold on to that thought, because we're actually going to talk about that in the news.
Yeah.
Well, let's move on to the news. South Park, the fractured butthole, is thrust upon us this Tuesday. Who's excited for that?
I didn't play much of the first one. I heard it got great reviews, but I kind of regret that a little bit. So I might jump in this one.
Yeah, the first one played a lot like. You ever play Paper Mario?
Oh yeah, loads.
Same game, same like combat style.
All right, okay.
Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. I mean, it's exactly what you expect from South Park, where like you get your standard classes, but the cleric is the Jew and wears a yarmulke, LOL, because it's South Park.
Yeah.
But like, and it goes a little too far in some places, but the game is overall one of the better RPGs PC had to offer when it came out. And this new one, I have to see the implementation of some of the things they're trying to actually do, but it looks pretty interesting to me.
How well South Park's still doing? I mean, I haven't watched it for years. So
me either, but it's on like 21st season.
Yeah, I keep forgetting it's still going.
Yeah. There's so many other options out now, aren't there? I think that's the thing. When you've got Family Guy, American Dad, Simpsons, I mean, there's so many. And then
the new one is Rick and Morty, too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's so many.
Nikita, do you have anything to say about the fractured butthole?
So many things.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for it. I just watched the South Park episode that they call a prequel, but it's not actually a prequel because it's the first episode. And it's the episode that starts the story for the game. I was so excited. Dude, I don't know, I'm hyping up this game. I'm really, really hyping up this game. Cause like,
okay, you thinking of picking it up when it comes out?
Dude, there's a boss fight against a horde of strippers. And the main boss...
That does seem up your alley.
Literally, the main boss is a giant stripper, and its main attack is it booty slams you to death.
Of course it does.
Sure.
I mean, who wouldn't be excited for that?
I mean, that would cause a butthole to fracture, so I can see.
Probably could.
Yeah, that would cause the fractured butthole.
Perfect.
So is the combat system and everything going to be the same then, or is it more story based this one, or is it?
I've heard they've modernized the combat. Like it's less of a point and button bash and more strategy. But I'm not sure what their strategy actually is.
Oh, cool.
But I'm excited. And yes, I wanted to say but.
I'm envisioning South Park and XCOM together.
And guess what? Even though they used to talk so much about don't pre-order games, it's all a money-making scheme, they have an offer when you pre-order. You get to play as Towley, the towel that's always high on.
Oh, Towley. All right. So I'm glad that you're excited about it. Do you have any opinion on like the little social commentaries they're making or their implementation?
I'm a little worried about how people are going to react about the difficulty settings because they've made a comment on society where now it's bad, but when you play on the hardest difficulty, your race turns to you become black.
Oh.
And then
if you want to play a black person, you have to play on hard. Yes.
Yeah. So then it becomes harder to convince people to see your side in things because you're black.
There's some social statements being made there.
Yeah, there's another one that I'll get to in a second. Apparently, it doesn't affect combat, but literally everything else.
Yeah. And then if you play on easy, you're like really white.
Yeah, you look like PewDiePie.
Yeah, exactly. You're white.
That's quite a clever. I mean, it's an offensive one, but it's quite a clever comment, like mechanic what they've put in there. To be fair, I quite like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's really a way to teach people empathy if they've never encountered that before. Another thing I think is interesting is they give you the option if you're supposed to be playing the same character from the first game, apparently, but you have an option to like retcon your gender. And if you do that, then the game treats you as trans, which is cool. But immediately you get jumped and your ass kicked if you say you're trans. Because violence against trans people is a serious problem, and it's not something they could avoid.
They had to be an addition. But once they said they were going to let you play as trans, I was like, okay, there's going to be a catch. And then you said it.
So it looks like they're on the right, I mean, depending on who you ask, they're on the right side of these issues, but I'm not sure the implementation is going to be as tasteful as I'm hoping.
Yeah. Fucking tasteful, just don't go.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
Use that word.
There was a boss in the first game that was testicles, so. So what probably should have been the lead story, Star Wars dropped its new trailer and it's taken over the world again.
Yes, it has. I am so excited. I was one of the people that was refreshing my movie theaters tickets page so I could get my first show IMAX 3D tickets. So I get really happy anytime this happens because it's like the world kind of, I don't know, it's like any other time if you're a Star Wars nerd, you are lumped in with nerds and people like to make fun of you until the Star Wars trailer comes out and gets a gajillion views on YouTube and everyone's like, oh, never mind, this is actually popular.
Yeah, it's a good point. People seem to forget Star Wars is awesome and cool sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at it right now. They just said the Last Jedi, the most recent trailer, has already hit 120 million views and has already surpassed like the same rate of the Force Awakens trailer.
Nice.
So it's like, it's blowing.
So I just saw it today. Mm-hmm. What stood out to you?
Well, I have a fantastic 16-minute video all about that. But
all right.
But for the purposes of the podcast, I'm really excited to see how they're going to play out a dynamic between Kylo Ren and Rey. I think they're going to be very important how those two characters affect one another.
So I had a question about that actually. Do you know at the trailer, at the end of the trailer, and Rey turns around and says, "I need someone to show me my place." Yeah. And it's quite. Now, when the camera's on her, it's quite serene, and you know the lights flickering. Which I'm thinking, and I might be wrong here, that's from the scene where she's sat with Luke at the campfire,
right?
And she's kind of saying to him, "I need you to show me," kind of thing. I don't know where that goes from there, but then when the trailer then switches to Kylo Ren and he extends his hand as if to say, "I'm going to show you your place. You know, come with me."
Yeah,
but they're in two different places, surely.
I think so, and there's been like people have done light analysis and like posted that online. Oh yeah,
light analysis.
Straight up, I saw on Twitter somebody had an image and they like were looking at the quality of the red, green, and blue light in each image and showing how they were wildly different. It was crazy.
Have they not considered that the trailer makers could have just changed the RGB
color? Yeah, I don't know, but I too think they're in different scenes there.
Yeah,
but
they are.
While I think that particular moment might not be in the movie, I think that the emotion behind that and the theme, like, I think they are going to team up at some point, whether it's early in the movie or at the very end of the movie.
Yeah.
So, like, I think it's technically misleading in that thing's probably not in the movie, but not because I think that type of thing is going to happen.
So you think thematically that's still kind of going to happen, even if that exact event doesn't?
Correct. That's just my guess.
Right. I was really two things stood out to me that I really liked. Luke is hella traumatized from Kylo, and just seeing another Jedi as strong as his father and as strong as Kylo scared the shit out of him.
Yeah.
And then I really liked that Kylo is still an absolute fucking baby shitbag kid. I love that he's awful. I love it.
I like it too. I think some people really missed it. I think there were people who saw The Force Awakens and hated Kylo because they thought he was supposed to be totally BA, and they failed at making him BA. But the point of Kylo is that he isn't great, but he's trying.
No, he sucks.
Yeah.
He sucks so bad. I love it.
The point.
He's just kind of slightly above. Like, he's very powerful, but he's so cocky and he doesn't do anything right. He's a bumbling idiot. I love it.
There's a guy who does YouTube reviews named Jeremy Johns, who some people may have heard of, and he said it really well in one of his reviews, which is Kylo is really important because he's the only space wizard around.
That's a good point.
I mean, that's really what it is.
Yeah, without like learning anything about Snoke, who's obviously a Sith.
Mm-hmm. Well,
or
a dark side user. Sith is a philosopher.
Yeah, you're right. He might not. Well, he's using the Sith Master Apprentice Rule of Two thing, whether he's actually Sith or not. Right. You're right.
Sorry.
So without Luke being in the public,
mm-hmm.
and without him, I guess he is the only Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
And I use that term in the loose sense of a Force user with a lightsaber.
Well, yeah, because he killed everyone else. So
right, there are no Jedi. Luke is a Jedi. That's it.
There is a group known as the Knights of Ren, which is they're supposed to be more in The Last Jedi. I hope they're going to kind of explain what they are, but there's nothing that says.
Are they a Force tradition?
They are new to this trilogy, and we don't know. I don't think we know for sure whether or not they're all Force users or not. But the reason why Kylo Ren took on the name Kylo Ren is he gets Ren from the Knights of Ren. It's some Snoke addresses him in The Force Awakens. He's like, even you, Master of the Knights of Ren, have not faced a test like this, referring to Kylo having to face his father.
Right, and I couldn't tell if they named it after him or if he took the name Ren from the Knights.
I am under the impression that he took the name Ren from the Knights.
Yeah, now that you mention it, it makes the most sense because he should be Solo.
Yeah, so I think he changed his name because he became a part of this, whatever this group is.
Right.
You can see them briefly in the Force.
You see the Knights, for sure.
Yep, in Rey's vision. But I don't think there's anything in that vision to indicate Force sensitivity, but...
Well, they're probably all Force sensitive. I just don't know if they're trained in the Force.
Right. That's
like Han is Force sensitive, but he doesn't believe in the Force.
I've long held that Han has to be Force sensitive. I don't think it's been like...
He is! No one can run the Kessel Run without hitting the things that fast if they're not Force sensitive.
Well, there's things, too, where he's one of the few people who isn't trained, who's used a lightsaber and that sort of thing.
Yeah, you're right. Forgot about that.
Yeah, it's like him and Grievous are the two technically, quote-unquote, non-Force sensitive.
But Grievous doesn't have anything to risk because he's just a big dumb robot with a person in it.
If he cuts his arms off, he can just put another one on.
Like, there's no counterweight on those things. Has anybody ever tried to cut something with, like, a ceramic knife?
Mm-mm.
I thought you were going to ask us with a lightsaber then.
No, but that's what a lightsaber would feel like.
I've cut a lot of things with my plastic lightsaber.
Yes. So... Any closing thoughts beyond, holy shit, this is going to be good?
No, I mean, that's pretty much where I'm at.
I think I like the early... I like the fact
that got emotional for Carrie Fisher. Like, you guys didn't talk about how sad
absolutely.
That was. I'm predicting right now, I've been predicting for a long time that at the end of The Last Jedi, you're going to have the last shot, and then it always does, like, the circle wipe to directed by or whatever, and this time instead I think it's just going to say for Carrie right off the top in the credits.
Yeah. That's good.
Oh man, that's going to make me
I also,
that's what I would do.
Yeah, I also really think it's powerful how it looks like they're going to use Leia's Leia's final moments to really... Kylo can't be more of a dickbag than what he's about to do.
Do you think he'll actually push the button though?
Yeah, I do. Because I think Snoke will.
I don't think he will because he has daddy issues. He doesn't have mommy issues.
Exactly.
I think he doesn't kill Leia in that scene that's in the trailer. He chalks it up to, it was a battle and I missed, and then that's why Snoke is pissed at him.
Yeah.
That's what I think is going to happen.
I just don't think it ties in with his character if he does it at that point.
Mm-hmm.
It makes his story a lot deeper if he doesn't, or it fleshes his character out more if he doesn't do it.
Well, if he doesn't do it, then he's probably redeemed in the third movie.
Right.
which opens up the storyline for pairing up.
Well, and what I've been saying is, with this new trilogy, they keep kind of hinting at it's going to change how we understand the Force, because the idea is now the Force is back into balance. They've never bothered to define what the Force being in balance means, but whatever that means, the Force is kind of operating differently now, and I've long held that the dark side in of itself is not inherently the problem. It's the way the Sith were using the dark side. So I think you're going to have something where Kylo is going to kind of come to represent a proper use of the dark side. Rey will represent a proper use of the light side. And together they found like a new Force user order that understands a complete view of the Force.
Right. And that ties into what I was going to say is, I think that the whole idea of balance of the Force was a propaganda thing from the Old Republic.
Yeah.
I think balance refers to the light side. That's all they see, is that the light side is good, therefore balance is the light side, get rid of the Sith.
I certainly think that's the way they swung it, because the idea of balance was a long-held Jedi prophecy, but I think because the Jedi did it, they're like, well, obviously we can't lose, because that would be a bad prophecy, so we must have to win.
Yeah.
And Yoda even references that in Revenge of the Sith, where they talk about it's he and Mace and Obi-Wan are in one of the troop transports, and Yoda has a line about how they might have misunderstood what the prophecy is.
Yeah.
Well, you could tell at the end of that movie, he's sitting there like, man, I should have listened to Qui-Gon.
Yeah.
Boy, I should have listened to Qui-Gon.
We should have got that line in there as well.
It's like...
Listen to Qui-Gon, I should have. So anything else anyone wants to add about Star Wars?
No, just that the aliens looked amazing. That crystalline fox or whatever it was that was in the wastelands looked amazing.
I want a porg. I want 5 porgs.
That's so cute.
How long until we breed one?
Oh, it'll happen now. There's the motivation.
We have the science and the desire.
Yep.
Another huge story. Coming up on the 27th is Assassin's Creed Origins. Now, I know Curry Pants is excited about this one.
So excited. So excited. But
tell us about it.
I'm both excited and annoyed. So I'm just going to tell you first the exciting parts, okay? Before I tell you the annoying part. Okay. The setting's really beautiful. They didn't use Unreal Engine this time. They used Anvil 2. But it's still pretty good. It's so good. It's so open world. Like the map, I'm sure it's going to be so incredible. There's a new assassin. His name is Bayek, and they've got like a new feature. You've never really had boss battles in Assassin's Creed. You just kind of went to assassinate someone and had to use stealth. But now you've got the option that you can fight the gods, the Egyptian gods, which look really, really cool. So I'm excited about that, like, cause there's like Horus and all these gods and all the Egyptian gods, Ra and Osiris and all the crazy, everything's there.
So are they going the Stargate route of the gods were aliens?
I honestly feel that way, because the way they promoted it, it was like, you gotta battle the gods and check this out. And, there's a bit of romance as well, because there's a whole Caesar Cleopatra thing going on. I like the trailer. It was kind of like he was rapping the trailer. It was like, you wanted darkness, we killed the flame. He was channeling his inner...
Caesar Cleopatra?
No.
Was it set in ancient Egypt then, I take it?
The narrator was like rapping the whole thing, and there was Cleopatra looking all sexy like, and looking at Caesar in the distance. It was really cool.
She was with Alexander, not Caesar.
Yeah, but didn't she have a brief affair with Caesar?
Were they even the same time?
Yeah.
No, but in this game, they kind of like made it like that.
Yeah, Caesar and Cleopatra had a thing for a while.
We're talking about Caesar Augustus here?
Julius Caesar.
Julius.
Yeah, Julius to Caesar Augustus, right.
Yeah.
Huh, I didn't think they did.
Yeah.
All right.
The thing is with Assassin's Creed is I think that what I wanted them to go with this is I loved the third. Everyone hated the third one. I loved that one with the was it the Navajo tribal Indians that they use. I thought that story was fantastic. And the way they tied it in, it was so well written. The gameplay wasn't as great, but I think the story absolutely carried it. The pirate one, I hated. I just could not get on it. I just couldn't get on with it.
Really?
I've never played that one, but I know.
I don't like Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
It would just,
but I've played Black Flag.
It just didn't do it. It just didn't do it for me. It was just.
I will say though that I did quit about halfway through because I got bored of it. But
yeah, it's one of them games. It's like we were talking about Metal Gear the other day. It's kind of like one of them games. You get about halfway through, and you can't meet many people that have finished it.
Yeah.
Are you saying you can't beat Metal Gear?
I've done it now, but I left it for a good, I would say, year and a half before I went back to it.
Oh wait, which one are we talking about
The
here?
new
Told
one.
me that actually.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not surprised. That one's not as good as any of the others.
Yeah, I think Assassin's Creed, for me, Assassin's Creed, the last one, the pirate one, fell into that kind of, that category where it was more like, it's one of them games I'll finish one day.
Okay.
I really hope they work on the story because it got lost. In Syndicate, it just got lost. And then towards the last 10 minutes of the game, you get like a 2-second bit of story that was attaching to like the previous game. And then they just ended it. And you didn't know what was happening. Like they did not continue the story. Hope they bring it back with this game. But
you see, they had the time traveling thing in one of the Assassin's Creed. They could have tied all the Assassin's Creeds in together, and they didn't. They missed a trick there. They left it as it was, and I was like, talk about missing a shot. You know, that was.
It's like they didn't even care to like connect the dots. They just like carried on. I get what you mean. That's what they did, and I hope they try that now, like just to get us back to a story.
Because, I mean, then you could open up Assassin's Creed in the future, so, like, sci-fi versions of it. You could go even, like, further back. I mean, you could really, like, open up the story then.
Exactly. I feel like they start off so enthusiastically, and then you get so excited for more story in the game, and then suddenly, done. Game's over. Finished.
Yeah.
No story.
Yeah.
Like, they get restless in the last bit of the game.
It might be due to deadlines that they're getting pushed into.
Yeah, I was thinking that or they ran out of money.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, they definitely ran out of money because they want so much of money from us for this game. I mean, how many editions do you need? They have Deluxe Edition, Gold Steelbook, God's Edition, Dawn Collector, Legendary Edition.
I gotta buy all of them.
Yeah, gotta buy Legendary God Steel Book Edition.
And that's not even like I mean, seasons pass, you gotta buy so much of stuff.
Oh yeah, buy all that DLC we haven't made yet. Do it though.
Season pass.
That price, really, and I know Ubisoft, they're just gonna do like this. They're going to make it like it's a fancy add-on that you're going to want, and you buy it, you spend so much of dollars, and it's just like 10 minutes and you're dead, you're finished, done. That's it. That's so frustrating.
Yeah. I mean, that's how publishers roll these days, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You pay like $20 and, okay, so his outfit changes.
A new coat.
See, this is where I really enjoy buying, like, collector's editions or like game of the year editions or whatever that come out because it just comes with everything. Like I bought I bought BioShock Infinite well after Burial at Sea, the DLC came out, and I bought it all together. I
haven't played that. Is it worth it?
Oh, I am obsessed with the BioShock series.
Right. So if I stream that for the first time, you think that'd be good to watch?
Yeah. Oh yeah. You will get people, especially if it's your first time streaming it. It's one of those things where there's so many little moments, we all want to relive them again, so people will come to relive it through you.
Right, so I get that.
Mm-hmm. I would watch that.
Cool. So to stay on the same topic, Shadow of War is distilled avarice and an insult to the consumer. Litanah?
This is where the podcast could get long, so I'm going to condense this.
Go nuts.
I've got potentially.
We're talking about Lord of the Rings here. Epic length is required.
Exactly. Well, what you find is,
and if Litanah stands for anything, it's epic.
Exactly. Exactly. Look, I love the original game. I thought the original game was one of my favorites of all time, and the story again was a bit weak. It was kind of reminded me of maybe, high school play standard of storytelling. But that didn't matter because they had this nemesis system in there where you kind of got to fight your way through different enemies and you kind of could move your story along and in your own way. So you might kill one orc, which leads you to another one, which leads you to another, but then someone else might play it and they might go a different direction. So I thought the whole system behind the mechanics was amazing, and I thought, whatever they bring out next, I'm going to buy it. Mm-hmm. So I went to buy it. And then I got faced with a standard edition, a silver edition, a gold edition, a nemesis edition, a legendary, and it was like, whoa. And these are all the same game. And it was like, and then I did I pre-ordered standard. I just thought, I don't even know what all these are. So I went standard. And then day one of it being released, so I waited for it to come out, and there's a DLC expansion pack and a season pass for sale. So I've just spent.
I'm virtually hugging you, Litanah. I feel this pain.
Oh, it was. Then you had the DLC. So the DLC was, I think the DLC was £20 on top. I don't know what it converts to, but then the season pass on top of that was another £35. So I'd spent £50 on this game already. Then they wanted another 30 and another 20. So it was like £100 for the base game just to start me off.
So that's like 150 Canadian dollars.
Well, I thought this
I'm not even going to tell you what that is in rands.
Oh, well, it's like a billion, something like that.
I'm crying. I'd have to mortgage the house.
Well, what I found is, they had it's this loot system as well. They've got, you can get these loot crates in the game now. Now this is Now we're kind of to blame for these loot crates, and I'll tell you for why. We started off with Counter-Strike, and Valve make Counter-Strike, and everybody loves Valve, so they could do no wrong, and we all said, yeah, loot crates are great.
Yeah, we trusted them.
Yeah, and it was like, they were all cosmetic in that one, so that's okay.
Right, we're talking about like Team Fortress 2 here, right?
Yeah, CSGO.
Yeah,
Team
no,
Fortress.
they just had hats. It was fine.
Yeah, hats. And how funny was that as well? Do you know, paying £5 for a hat, money well spent for me. That's what I would say. And then you get Blizzard. They come out with Overwatch. Mm-hmm. Everybody loves Blizzard because they did so great with World of Warcraft. Overwatch is doing great. So and again, all cosmetic packs. Yeah. But now it's like a lot of the games now are like, well, we're going to do that, but we're going to give you then because they've not got the weight that Valve have got or the influence that Blizzard have got. They need to give you some sort of more motivation to buy the pack. So not only will this be a cosmetic boost, but it's going to give you, an edge in game as well.
Well, for Shadow of War, it's even worse than that because didn't they lock
Yep.
entire tribes behind a paywall?
Oh well, yeah. This is what I was looking at earlier. You've got the Slaughter tribe, which is you only get with the gold edition. The Outlaw tribe, which you only get with the gold and silver edition. Blade of Galadriel story expansion, so there's more story in there that you don't get in the base game.
What do you mean story expansion?
Desolation of Mordor, which you only get in the legendary expansion. And then you get gold war chests, like depending how many of these you buy, you get those. But I think what killed it for me is what you'll find in the game.
None of that killed it for you, though.
Oh, I'm still here at this point. I'm still with it at this point.
All right, you're dedicated.
Oh, it's Lord of the Rings. It gets an automatic pass, right? So what happens then is, when I first played the game, I was already annoyed now playing the game. I kind of hated the main character now because I blamed him because that's the only face I could see. So what you'll find is, I think parts that would have been normally cut from this kind of game, or because they're too repetitive or boring or just generally not fun, they've left them in there and made it so you have to repeat them. Now, it only takes about 20 minutes to do these little, really boring, collect these plants or whatever it may be. Or there's a little arena fight that's
MMO missions?
Yeah, and there's this arena fight that looks like it could be cool. It's actually in the trailer, but it's awful. The fight is just, it's almost like in World of Warcraft, we'd have called it a dance fight. It just depends where you stand and that kind of thing. But you can either take 20 to 25 minutes doing this, boring task what we've set here, or pay £5 for a microtransaction that skips this part for you. And that comes
just give us $5 and don't play the video game.
Well, I could have saved myself £100 and not played the video game. But this, this keeps coming up over and over, so it's like 20 minutes. But you think if that happens to you 4 times, you've lost nearly an hour's worth of gameplay where you could have been doing something fun, but the game just makes you repeat again and again and again.
Yeah.
And my childhood was, and when I first got into gaming was from the 90s. I'm used to just paying money for the thing and getting the thing.
Right.
You know?
And that comes down to there's no business with microtransactions and day one DLC for a game you have to fucking pay for.
Oh,
Right.
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, these have
You
got
give
it
me your
wrong
game
on
for
a
free?
massive scale.
Fair enough. You make me pay $60 for your stupid game, it better be there.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't know if anyone played. There was a game called Company of Heroes, and the first one absolutely fantastic. The second one, they've even got advertisements in game. So while you're playing the actual game, advertisements for more microtransactions start coming up. So the game pauses multiplayer and starts asking you if you want to buy skins, if you want to buy extra things, and it's like, go away. Do you know? So it's kind of
Every YouTuber's nightmare.
Yeah, I mean, that game got absolutely bombed, and I hope, and I don't think it will because I think the franchise will carry it, but I hope this one does, and I hope that nobody buys these chests, because, I mean, I don't know if do you all play Overwatch or Paladins and things like that?
I play Paladin.
Have you ever bought any chests or anything like that?
Paladin.
No.
I have a little pact with myself not to spend money on free-to-play games.
Right.
Yeah, you see, I've spent small amounts on Hearthstone, Overwatch, things like that. CSGO, I've bought hats in Team Fortress 2. So I kind of blame myself. I'm kicking myself now because I shouldn't have given a penny because I've kind of helped enable this,
Well, let me ask you this. I don't know if it's strictly your fault or even necessarily the consumer's fault on a base level because it's the avarice of these companies trying to take as much as they can with this new system. But do you think maybe we've enabled them by setting a precedent by trusting the two companies that we knew were trustworthy?
Yep.
But creating the precedent for untrustworthy companies like Warner Brothers and fucking...
Yeah, absolutely. We should be able to trust Warner Brothers. I mean, this is a franchise that we...
Oh, man, you don't watch the Jimquisition, do you?
Well,
Warner Brothers is maybe the worst of any of these publishers when it comes to video games.
Well, I think I've learned my lesson, to be fair. If there's ever if there's a Shadow of War 2 or they expand on this, not a chance. I won't touch it.
Well, let me ask you this, guys. Not being a hardcore gamer myself, you guys keep attributing it to like these two companies that have done it, but from what I'm hearing, it sounds a lot like this is really mobile games infringing on non-mobile games because I play.
The idea definitely came from mobile games.
Oh,
right?
definitely. The influence was there.
Yeah, no, you can't forget that. All Litanah and I were saying is that mainstream like console and PC gaming let it slide for two companies we trusted.
Yeah.
And then everyone else went, well, precedent set, let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think because we've actually bought the DLC, as consumers, I mean, not me and you in particular, but because we've bought this DLC at any point, if a company can get away with it, they're going to do it. If you had a business you could make money on and it was all legal and board and you thought I could make money, you would probably do it. If it could make you good money or it could make you substantial money, you'd certainly do it. And I think that's not trying to defend the companies, but that is all they're doing. It's kind of like, look, these mugs are going to buy this. So let's just put it out there.
Now you're kind of getting into economic theory and how it interacts with government. Like, as a legal entity, a company doesn't have to give a shit about the consumer.
Absolutely.
The company's goal is to make as much money as it possibly can.
Yeah, I mean, ethically they're supposed to, but there's no...
but they're supposed to be...
to the backlash. They don't really care. And
no, because they keep making money.
Yeah, and major YouTubers, the big ones, they get it for free, so they don't care to speak out about all the stuff because they're getting it for free and they're getting it early.
Yeah, definitely.
But like I was saying, can somebody please repeat back what I just said?
You were saying about the economics behind it and that they don't have to.
Right.
They don't have to.
Yeah, like we're getting into that thing where like companies, they're in a sense they're doing exactly what their job is.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the lack of like legal restrictions and stuff stopping them from doing this technically not gambling but definitely gambling system to exploit people with psychological issues.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like the fact that is allowed is kind of sickening.
Well, I play. I don't know if you guys know, but on phones, their Tops, like the trading card company, has a lot of different apps. Like I play the Star Wars one. They have one for The Walking
Yeah.
Dead.
Oh,
They have
Tops,
one
yeah, I know
for-
them.
Yeah. They have card apps for all of the sports. But when their Star Wars one launched, and this has happened in all of theirs. Obviously, Star Wars is just the one I've played. It was really fun at first because you would get free in-game currency, or it's not a game, but in-app currency to buy card packs. And then you could watch ads, and if you voluntarily watched ads, you would get more currency, and it was really fun.
Right.
See, I don't mind that. That's
that's
a
good,
way of
yeah.
doing it.
But then the app went downhill, and a lot of card packs are behind a paywall. Granted, it's a 99-cent paywall, but it's still a paywall. And then now there's a premium currency, and there are certain packs you can only buy with premium currency. And the problem is you're buying card packs. So you're not buying the cards you want, you're buying the chance at the card you want.
Yeah.
So you're literally paying to
Right.
gamble. So I've refused to spend money on the app because it's effectively gambling.
Yeah.
I mean, they get around it not being
Yeah.
gambling because you get stuff. You pay in-game currency to get a pack, and as long as you get a pack, you got what you were promised.
Yeah,
But-
absolutely.
You know what's really standing out to me is this sounds like every collectible card game I've ever played.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I think, is that the model they're going with? Is Magic the Gathering responsible for Overwatch?
It's effectively it's like a
Play
collect-
Magic.
it's like a card game, only you don't play a game. You're just collecting cards.
Yeah, no, yeah. You don't use the card for a game. You just dress your stuff up, or
I
Yeah.
think what we're doing is you're kind of looking at a scaled timeline, aren't you? Where you've got the CS:GO and the Team Fortress stuff, where it started off all nice and I'm going to buy a hat just because it's funny. Then we got into the mobile, the mobile phone like genre, and then we started, you need these to do this. But I think where Shadow of War crosses the line is the fact that they made a statement saying you don't need to buy these, you don't need to pay anything to finish the game. The whole game's there, but these are just to help you along.
the whole game's there. It's just not fun.
Anybody believes that, then I've got a magic bear that'll crack gold that I can sell to you. Because
Is that a magic bear? How much are you selling it for?
Is that $50? I'm gonna get my money back.
Canadian or American? Check my
Whichever's
account.
got best exchange rate at the time. Yeah,
Do you have to ask?
there is no way. Yeah, I know that's I shouldn't have to ask you that, but there's no way that this game should have been released. There's no way that that you can finish this game and enjoy it. That's the bit they left out. You can finish the game without microtransactions, but you will not enjoy it for a second.
That's
So-
true. That's what they've been saying. Like, you can do it, you can finish it, but it's not going to be as exciting as if you pay for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and before, just to hedge any comments we might get about, but fun is subjective. Fuck you.
Yeah, absolutely. Not in this game. It's
Well, there was a bit of controversy with XCOM 2 when it was released. It was super buggy.
It's crap.
Oh, yeah.
Holy shit, yes.
And like I've gotten around. I've only had the game like bug out on me to the point where it was going to be a problem once, and I fixed it with a mod. And I expressly don't use mods unless I have to, because I don't want to increase my odds. But I haven't gotten to play War of the Chosen yet, and it really bums me out. But supposedly a lot of the bug fixes are in War of the Chosen. So they're saying, we're releasing this expansion pack, and, if you're going through the hassle of getting the expansion pack, you can download the update too. But everyone else was taking it as, so I have to pay more money for you to fix the game you should have released without bugs. And
Well, I think where XCOM gets it right is the fact that they opened the game up to the modding community.
Yes,
So
I agree with that.
the community can fix the game themselves, and
I was
sometimes
just going
even
to go
make
into
it
Elder
better.
Scrolls.
Yep.
So
They've never... Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think that's where games like Fallout 4, Shadow of War, which I keep mentioning, but a lot of games fall down because they're so closed off by these big corporations, and you tend to find the ones that open up modding tend to do extremely well, like RimWorld, for example. The games, Skyrim, the games that open it up to modders are always more successful.
I was just going to say, there hasn't been an Elder Scrolls game since Morrowind that hasn't released in a horrible, hilariously bad state.
Yeah.
It's become a point of, adoration by fans, oh, look at those bugs.
Yeah.
But they always leave it open for mods. Like, the
Yeah.
game is huge, and we can't possibly alpha test it enough to see everything, so do it and fix it.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that
And,
because it becomes the community's game then, do you know, like
Yeah.
Skyrim's kind
And
of
then they will
everyone's
patch
game.
it, they just need more data.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they sometimes pay the modders, don't they, as well, to, you know, we're going to use that.
They super do.
We'll
Well,
take that. And I think that game...
that's what happened with the rebooted XCOM franchise. Is XCOM Enemy Unknown was released and it wasn't open for mods. But there's a group that got into the files anyway through computer things that I don't understand.
Yeah.
And they made what's called the Long War mod.
Yeah, Long War was great.
Yep. And when XCOM 2 came out, the devs worked hand in hand with the Long War guys. So when XCOM 2 launched, you basically had Long War 2.
Right.
Yeah, that's a developer just getting it right, and that's what it is. I mean, I know that I might have mentioned that I'm a big fan of Witcher 3, but you know what I was enjoying is every few weeks I just got free DLC sent. I just got an email. Do you know what? We've made some DLC. It's yours. Reinstall your, update your game, and you've got this midway through the game as well. I didn't have to start again. You know, it'd just be like, right, we've added you some new combat moves. We've added more NPCs. Your weapons are going to look better. There's more armor sets. And before it even got to the end of the game, I think there was something like 22 free DLCs that I'd received along the way. And CD Projekt Red just absolutely nailed it. So when their expansion came out, which was months later, I couldn't wait to give them their money. Because it's like, not only do I get what I'm giving, not only am I buying the thing, pay the money and get the thing, I'm getting more.
That's why Witcher 3 is always going to be in my top 5 games. It was worth every single penny.
Yeah, CD Projekt Red just threw money. Now they're going to bring out the new game, aren't they? What's the new one? Cyberpunk, something like that. They were going to bring out. They've got a new futuristic version coming out. What they've done, they've set themselves up nicely now because the consumer trusts them. So hopefully they'll not make the same mistake that Shadow of War's just done. But I reckon the money for that will be off the charts. That'll break records as soon as it's released. But the developers set themselves up perfectly for that.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I want to say something. I just looked up Wild Hunt to see who published it, and it's CD Projekt.
Yeah.
Am I the only one noticing that dev published stuff is really good, and when it goes to a third party publisher, it just gets massacred?
I mean
Yeah, that's the trend.
Yeah, and I'm really starting to think they're not even necessary anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I think anyone who wants a game, I think they can. The community and the consumer stop when we see them EA logos in future, or Warner Brothers, or Ubisoft. We'll walk away. We'll just. I'm not buying that if it's made by them.
God, I hope so.
So,
Ubisoft has scarred my soul.
But they've got all the big franchises at the minute, so it's just a case of people boycotting games like this rubbish, like Shadows of War. And I think that's when we'll start to see games finding their feet again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, where my most of my money spent on Steam goes to Firaxis and 2K, but they are also all of their games are moddable except for maybe the BioShock series.
That's acceptable because that were awesome anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, well that was a great discussion. Do we have anything else to add about microtransactions, Shadow of War, or Origins?
No, I think that's everything.
I think I got all my saltiness out.
Good. We've expelled the saline.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right. PUBG is literally the most popular game in the world, and it's not even out of early access. Mm-hmm. Isn't that crazy?
I didn't realize it wasn't out of early access until you said that.
It's not finished.
It's crazy.
It's top 2 million. It's crazy. It's not even out yet.
What do you think? What do you think contributed to this very simplistic, direct to the point game being such a smash hit?
I think it's just because it's simple.
Yeah,
we've got so many complicated things happening with games. We like the simple things now.
Yeah, I mean, I've just been playing. I was playing Computer Tycoon just before I jumped onto this. There's so many menus, options, and things to think about, and then I can put PUBG on and pick it up for 10 minutes, 3 hours, whatever I want, and I can just keep rolling them games over and over and over. Something fun happens in just about every single one. It's just that pick up and play element that I think they've just absolutely nailed it.
Yeah. there's a reason it surpassed Dota too. Like, it's really, really good.
Right. Do you think that the fact that it's almost exclusively emergent gameplay is a part of that? The fact that every game is literally going to be different?
Yeah, I mean, I found after a while of playing it, I mean, after a couple of months, I found that it does feel a little bit. The map needs to change, I think, or something needs to change in it, because I kind of don't always click on it now. You know, there's other games coming out that are doing similar things, so I think it's probably peaked already before it's out of early access, which it won't be the first game to do. Like Ark, for example, another one that did that. So many games peak before they're out of early access. I don't think the longevity of it I worry about, and obviously the loot crates that I've started to see cropping up in the menus are a massive, exclamation mark for me. So I'm not certain about those yet. I don't know what's going to be in them yet.
I've opened one and it was just like shoes.
I'm fine with that. Cosmetics, I'm fine with. Like I said, but if it starts becoming guns or modifiers, bulletproof vest, then I'll be out straight away.
No, absolutely not. If you can buy gear to go in with, no.
Yeah. But I think PUBG's, although it's great and I love it, I think it's peaked.
Also, if you can pay to change the color of your clothes, no. That's a tactical advantage. I play a brown lady because she matches the ground in places.
There you go. Throwing it back to XCOM, which is mostly a single-player game, it's my favorite that you don't take any kind of tactical penalty for running around in neon yellow. I always find that hilarious. It's like, I guess the aliens must be colorblind, so you can get away with it or something.
Yeah, they see a different range of light.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, that'd tie into the story, though.
Yeah, it would.
So, a couple of interesting things before we finish up here. First, a Utah college is offering esports scholarships, the first of its kind. What do you think?
I like the idea. It's not going to. It depends if it takes away from actual education and from. I wouldn't like to think. I've got kids. I wouldn't like to think they've picked esports as a scholarship when they could have done. I don't know. Physics, for example, or
but what about people
else.
who get in because they play football or wrestle well?
That is a dad talking.
I know, it's the same. It's exactly the same. I think that, it's probably personal preference. I wouldn't like to think that the sports would be their first option. If it is, you support them and you're like, go for it. But I think that it's a scholarship. That's a bit heavy for me. I think.
Most of these scholarships,
we're not doing this yet, but I think that's a bit heavy.
Like most of these sports scholarships, and this is what this is being treated as.
Of a career there.
Yeah.
Esports career? I don't know. We haven't seen them really.
It's too new to really
long
say.
enough.
I mean, I've seen a few of them in my country, kind of making it, but those are the really good ones. Like majority just kind of do esports, but they don't really make much.
Well, the two of the earlier, one is drastically earlier, but two of the earlier sort of esports would be chess and MTG. One being much earlier, obviously. Mm-hmm. And using them sort of as an example, chess players can be very good until cognitive decline kicks in their 60s. Like, they can have a full career if they're, that good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so tell me with the culture here, surely you don't have chess scholarships over there as well. Is that a thing?
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is, we're just to address whether or not there's how long the career of an esports player is. I don't think we know, but previous similar things could show that it could actually be a very long time compared to an athlete.
But should we send our kids out into an unknown economy like that?
Yeah, I feel like it's so new. We haven't yet seen how far it can go and what
no one's gonna.
The thing is, though, is kids who go to college on sports scholarships aren't going on to play professional soccer or professional baseball or football necessarily.
Yeah.
They do
Dwayne Johnson, he went for football, and he came out with a history degree and became a wrestler and then an actor.
Yeah. And the thing is, it's like, but in some ways, this is how people can get into college. Like, getting into a scholarship because you can do physics is great, but what if you can't do physics?
I like that side of
I'm
it.
going with what Jeff said and
And
what
it's not
John
like-
said. Like, people don't just do one thing these days. Like, you see people like 2 or 3 careers and 2 or 3 things. Like, it doesn't mean that the person's just like they can do many things.
Yeah,
at once.
definitely.
Lastly, so Rick and Morty fans were duped by some dipping sauce.
I don't understand this story at all.
This is
Somebody
so
has to
funny to
walk
me.
through this.
Okay, well, I'll tell you.
This-
Is it just the US? This, John, is that the only place it happened?
I think Canadian fans went to the States to get duped.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
Oh, that's
in Rick and Morty, Rick likes this. He always complains that McDonald's stopped doing this Szechuan sauce, which were a sauce from late 90s, early 2000s, I think it was.
Yeah.
McDonald's
Long
said for
time
one day they were going to release this sauce again for just one day, and you got a Rick and Morty poster with it and a little special edition packet that it came in.
Mm.
But all of a sudden, they ran out, so they did not expect the demand for it. People
Right.
were queuing outside, and things like that. So next minute, we're reading on the news about police getting involved, riots. I heard, I don't know how true it is. I saw on Twitter someone had been shot. I don't know if that was.
I hope that's not true. I hope that's not true.
I hope it's not.
That can't be real.
That can't be real.
Messed up, but who shoots someone over sauce?
Right.
Well, it's Szechuan sauce. I've never tried this particular sauce, not the
I
McDonald's
had never
version.
heard of it until
could
this
be
time.
amazing.
I've used Szechuan
I'm
sauce in
sorry,
cooking, but
Tabasco
like,
sauce is yummy, and I've never shot someone.
Well, apparently they're bringing it back this winter. I've heard. But if you go on eBay, they were selling for up to about $400
Oh my gosh.
at one point. So
And does anyone even like this sauce, or was it all
I've never
because they
tried. I
like
want
Rick
to
and
now,
Morty?
but I've never tried. I'm quite.
I mean,
Yeah,
Szechuan
you
is
get it,
Szechuan's
yeah.
fine. It's made with like peanuts or some shit.
Oh
It's
my
all right.
gosh.
Yeah.
So you
But
can get
I-
this sauce at not McDonald's?
Yeah, no, I buy this sauce at the Atlantic Superstore with the food chain near me, and I use it in stir fry.
Oh my gosh.
That's the part that flabbergasts me.
Why did they have
is
to shoot people for it?
they specifically wanted to get the packets that Rick likes.
Yeah, exactly. And Donald Trump got involved as well. I saw somewhere a tweet
Well,
with him
that's-
throwing these packets into the crowd. So he got hold of some and started throwing them into a crowd. If you Google that,
Oh
if you Google
god.
that, you will see Donald Trump throwing Szechuan sauce.
Oh,
Into a crowd.
It's the best sauce.
I hate that I get that reference.
Oh, it's so good. I mean, it's terrible
But
the
you
way
know
he's.
what? I would
yeah.
believe this story because I'm telling you, Rick and Morty fans are ruthless. They had kidnapped me, held me hostage, and made me watch season 1. Like,
Oh
they
man.
did not
Wow.
leave me alone.
I'm a
So
huge
I
fan
would
of Rick and
believe
Morty.
you
It
guys
is
would
good.
shoot for sauce.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I feel
I
like the way
do.
I've talked to most Rick and Morty fans, like somehow it's like my friends go to a cult meeting and then they come back and they want to give me like a pamphlet about Rick and Morty.
Yeah, true that.
It reminds me a lot about when like Doctor Who first got hot and then everybody on Tumblr was into it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
Mhm.
refused to watch Doctor Who because of Whovians. Because
Yeah.
I was not
That's
going to
why-
walk around with TARDIS socks. And
See, I never really let the fan base affect me. I got into Doctor Who, and
Yeah.
I just didn't buy the TARDIS socks.
yeah, I feel like I could have enjoyed it. It's just I had too many friends who just like woke up and became
Right.
Whovians, and I'm like, what is?
And I'm
what's gonna
perfectly.
happen?
I'm sure that I would like Rick and Morty. I've seen clips of
Yeah.
it, and I think I'd enjoy the humor.
For the record, I own several pairs of Star Wars socks.
I
I
believe
think
you.
we all already knew that. I think.
My foot is in
But,
Vader's
like-
mouth.
I think the thing that made this so much fun for people who have like people on Twitter
Yeah.
they know that are into Rick and Morty and stuff is some segment of their fan base has convinced themselves that they are very smart because they like Rick and Morty.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And this was
Yes.
fucking funny.
Yes.
Yes, your grasp of theoretical physics didn't save you from
The
some sauce.
reaction you get when you say you don't watch it.
Hmm.
Oh man. So that was a podcast.
Yes, it was.
We just recorded the first YouTube Wolf podcast.
Check
You
us
did.
out.
Yeah.
Nice.
Anyway, just clarify that with me again was Litanah from Litanah Army this week.
Yeah.
And next week we'll be having another guest, the Couch Bum.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So, anything anyone want to say before we head out?
No, just thanks for having us, man. I really enjoyed it. It's been good.
Yeah, no, I had a great time. Laughed an awful lot, which is always a good thing.
I like how you put the runtime as 35 to 65 minutes.
Yeah,
that
I
was
saw
never
that.
going to go into
like,
35
that's not
minutes.
going to happen.
Like, he knew who he was bringing onto his podcast, and he knew that time limit was not coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just cut out Shadow of War and make it its own podcast.
Yeah.
Now, if you guys, for the people
actually
listening,
popular.
For the people listening, if you want that other 30 minutes, all you have to do is buy this nice package for $5.
Yeah, you buy the gold edition YouTube Wolf podcast.